In Pittsburgh, a roofing company is very easy to start. Literally within like 24 to 48 hours, you can have an LLC, a temporary contractor's license, buying shingles from a distributor or Home Depot, and like installing a roof.
So yeah, we were just talking.
We live?
Yeah, we shot another episode, and it was going to be this episode. Instead, it turned into a much different episode. And if you're here now, hopefully you watched that episode, because that was an absolute banger as far as perspective
That
on life.
heat.
It was that heat, man. We were talking about addiction, struggles, coping, path to recovery. It was moving, to say the least. So thank you for that, Brock.
You're welcome. Thanks for the opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brock McClelland, McClelland's Contracting Roofing, and his plan, My Grind.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh, PA, in this bish. Shout out to the team at Roofer. Thank you for helping make this happen. Great people, great company. If you need instant roof quotes, roof measurements, cleaning procedure proposals, which will give your prospects no choice but to buy. Make the choice easy for them, folks. Hit the link in the description. Get a hold of the folks at Roofer. 2025. What day is it? October 6th?
Yeah.
10/6/25. It's a Monday. Bills looked like dog shit last night at Josh Allen. God damn it. You guys got to get your shit together. They have this thing where it's like when they play on primetime, it happened against the Ravens, which luckily we came back this year. It happened last year against the Patriots, and we didn't win that game either. It's like for 2 quarters of football, they just look like they've never played football before. Don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Got to be better.
They're playing down a level.
Playing to the level of their competition.
That's it. The Steelers are infamous for that.
Yeah.
They'll go beat a team that outranks them and outplays them, and they win, and they play a team that shouldn't even stand a chance, and they'll drop down 3 notches.
You think business owners do that sometimes?
All the time.
Do you do that?
No.
Never.
The complete opposite of that.
So in those types of scenarios, how do you go from the person or the team or the organization that tends to become complacent and then look past opponents or play to the level of competition versus maintaining your standards without regards to what you're up against?
Your standard has to be non-negotiable. As businesses age, their standard tends to reduce in time, especially in roofing, the asphalt game. It's a race to the bottom. Time after time, guys start watering down their roofing system. They're selling it cheaper. It's just a very saturated market, at least in my market. It's beyond saturated. Our price ranges anywhere from, say, $400 a square all the way to $1,500 to $1,800 a square. That's a big difference. It's a big difference. And there's reputable companies that are in that $500-$600 range that are competing. So you got national out-of-town companies, 12 plus companies that are owned by private equity. You got the several local guys that are somewhat reputable. Then you got every 2 chuck in a truck. And then now you have subcontractors who have decided to become the contractor. Yeah. They're finding a way to sell the roofing system, and they're cheaper than everybody. So it's just an up and down roller coaster all the way across the board.
So do you think, okay, so as companies grow, their standard tends to diminish or reduce?
They deviate.
Okay. Why do you think that is? Do you think that that's, intentionally a founder saying, hey, let's do it this way? Or do you think that that's more so a result of, as they hire people and put people in places to make decisions, they have a different vision, they make decisions based on different things, and as a result, that happens?
I think it's a little bit of a mixture. They're trying to ride the wave in that current market with what's taking place with all the out-of-town companies, the PEs, and everybody that we just referenced, but along with losing sight of themselves and their standard, or they're pulling back out of the driver's seat, and they're working less in the company or even on the company at that point, and there is other people in positions that are watering it down.
What's the greatest challenge you've faced in your business to date?
Maintaining our standard.
Okay. Well, how have you done it?
we have decided to raise the bar, set the bar, and be the standard in our market. So 5 years in, we have accomplished that. We are now ahead of everybody, and we took the baton, and I no longer want to give the baton back. So I'm not letting anybody take that. So we are just playing by a different set of rules. When you raise the bar and set the standards, you sort of get to control how that looks. Complication wise, personnel, right? We have 33 employees right now. So keeping everybody on the same page can be a difficult thing, right? One mission, one vision. Everybody's aligned in the same way. But with that, you got 33 different personalities and perspectives. So that was a challenge, but the culture that we built in the business keeps everybody aligned with that. And they understand that our expectation is higher than any of the other companies.
What's your favorite part about owning a business?
The value that we get to add back to someone's home and them personally. Even though a roof is considered a grudge buy, right? But we both know that it's one of the most important portions of your house.
Yeah, I still fucking hated it. Yeah. I hired one of my clients to do the roof, and it was like $15,000. Yeah. I'm like,
it's expensive,
motherfucker.
It's expensive, and it's a quick process. A lot of people don't even realize that shingles come in colors. So I've crossed customers in the past where they're like, I get to pick a color. Well, Mr. Smith, you do get to pick a color. They do come in different colors. It's that much of a grudge buy.
Yeah.
But it's important to the household.
Yeah.
Especially installed. It needs to be installed correctly to manufacturer specification, ventilated properly. I mean, everybody today is installing a 50-year limited lifetime product. You're only going to get close to that 50 years by doing it how the manufacturer calls for it with the proper ventilation. There's a lot of guys that just run around, they take off and put back on what was there. And this is no longer the 1990, early 2000 roofing model. A lot has changed on the manufacturer side with the ventilation and then building code.
Yeah.
So there's people sticking roofs on right now that they're going to fail within 5 to 8, 7 to 10 years. The product, there was a big change in the product when they went from felt paper, which is a moisture absorber, to a synthetic underlayment, which is a vapor barrier. One absorbs, one pushes. Well, the synthetic that everybody is using, if the roof is improperly ventilated and it doesn't have intake to allow air in for it to exhaust out correctly, the first, call it 10 feet of the roof is going to cook a lot different because there's going to be trapped air sitting in that on the floor space, more or less, in the attic. So 7-10 years down the road, you got a charcoal roof, right? Someone stuck a gaff roof on and it's charcoal. And then all of a sudden the first 10 feet looks like it's gray. You got a gray and black roof now, and that's why.
I'm assuming that's in your sales pitch somewhere.
It is, for sure.
Yeah.
There's a huge gray area with ventilation in my market, and there was in 2020 when we started the company. And I was able to quickly identify that, and that was one of the differentiating pieces that separated me from my competitors. I'm bidding against 4 and 5 guys on average, right? Like Pittsburgh loves calling 3 to 5 guys. Everyone's getting 3 to 5 estimates. So there's 5 of us. I'm one of the 5. I'm the only one talking about ventilating your roof correctly. Now you're looking at me like I'm crazy because the other 4 jamokes didn't give you the proper information. Yeah. And it's not my job to talk poorly on them. And I would have to tell the customer, look, Mr. Smith, I'm not here to badmouth my customer, but I'll gladly discredit them where I can. And here's why. Because I had specifications from the manufacturer that stood behind me along with the internet. So I would just push them to Google, right? Get on Google this, look at this, cross ventilation. I mean, it's wild, some of the things that take place.
Yeah, I'm sorry they were going to sell you a hacked up roof. Now, I can't speak to why they were going to do that. However,
yes,
I could show you this from the manufacturer. Yes. You Google this.
That's it. Well, and too, it avoids the manufacturer warranty. Right. That's what people overlook. There's a huge difference in your workmanship warranty versus their manufacturer warranty.
Yeah. What's one thing of a competitor, whether it's now or when you started, that you could point to and say, this inspired me, or I admired this about this company? You don't have to say the company. You can if you want.
I need a minute. I need to think about this.
Hey, man, we got all the time you need.
what is one thing my competitor has done? There's a company out there that runs a good, clean, solid company. They ventilate correctly. They sell product the way they're supposed to. They stick to the manufacturer warranty. They're another Gaff Master Elite guy. So I find he has integrity. He has integrity. He runs a good, solid company, I believe. It's mind blowing. Mind blowing. I'm a competitive person, so I pay attention to everything, right? That's how I was able to advance ahead of all of these companies that I compete against because of where they're falling short. Because it's just easier. You were talking about like, well, why do they do that? Well, it's just easier. It's easier to do the wrong thing. It's like anything in life, right? It's easier to do wrong over right. People take the path of least resistance. So you got these roofing company owners. They've been in business about 5 to 30 years, right? In the mix. It's just, they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
They're not training their crews. Everyone's using a Hispanic crew nowadays, right? Or some Amish in our neck of the woods. They're not trained correctly. They weren't training the Hispanics correctly. Their project managers, if they had somebody overseeing the roof, they weren't trained properly. They're just putting the roof on wrong. Yeah. It's just easier to do it wrong and turn an eye to it because it's not biting you in the ass yet. So when I do cross paths with a company out there that sold the roof correctly and we know they're installing it correctly, then like I'll tip my hat to them, like hats off to you. But there is lesser of them than there are the ones that are doing it incorrectly. Reputable companies, national outfits, private equity owned, two chuck to a truck. I mean, it's, I call it out. I call it for what it is. And I talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
We know how we're installing. I had GAF in my warehouse 2 times a year training everybody. Our installers are certified installers. So project managers down.
Twice a year?
Mm-hmm. And we have to take tests throughout the year too. So that's one of the difference between GAF and Owens Corning. Our market is Owens Corning saturated. Why? It's easier to become a preferred contractor with them than it is to get certified through GAF. GAF is a lot more particular in my neck of the woods. My rep is very, you don't just let everybody that got a roofing, like a contractor's license, become a GAF certified roofer. So, yeah.
That probably helps.
For sure. Yeah. It does. It does.
What would you say, what comes to mind if I were to ask you, give me a list of things that helped take you from where you're at 5 years ago, just starting the company, to the success that you've experienced since then? What are some things within the business that come to mind?
Kept God first, the company second, and then the customer third. So it used to be God, customer, company. And then I realized how valuable my team is to me, right? Because we've grown to that size. So God's always at the top. Then it comes to team, then it's the customer. But customer service, communication is one of the things that separates us from most. The simple fact that we answer the phone, we call back. I trademarked, if our name goes on it, we stand behind it so you can stand in it. I stole that off a lawyer in Pittsburgh, Edgar Snyder. You're welcome.
That's fucking great.
Probably about to get sued because of that now. Chill.
Just a couple guys.
Yeah, just a roofer. Calm down. But no, because I take pride in my work, right? Yeah. I put my pistol down years ago and buried it. So when I started my business in 2020, I wasn't looking to pull the wool over Mr. and Mrs. Smith's eyes, right? I want to be able to lay my head down at night and do honest work. I was in the process of redeveloping, building not just myself, but my last name. I needed to build a legacy that was bigger than me for my children. How do I do that? I do that through honest work. We cared about our customer. We care about what we're touching. Listen, I'd be lying to you if I told you we haven't made mistakes and messed things up. But when we do, I pay for them. I make them right. Yeah. I've wrote checks, chargeback checks, et cetera, whatever it's been. We chewed something up. This was wrong. This didn't look right. Boom. Like, we're there for our customer. It's super, super important. A lot of people lose sight of that. That's why they got some bogus ass tail light. I call it the tail light warranty. Yeah. The warranty is only as good as far as you can see them driving down the street. They'll never answer your call again. They took your money and they ran. We don't do that.
Yeah, that's a really good point, though. Like, being able to, with a clean conscience, of being honest with yourself at the end of the night, being like, we're doing something good here. Yeah. We stand by our customers. We believe in what we do. This shit is, it's simple. You would think it's easy, but I don't know, based on the amount of companies that don't do it, apparently it's not easy.
It's not. And in Pittsburgh, a roofing company is very easy to start. Literally within like 24 to 48 hours, you can have an LLC, a temporary contractor's license, buying shingles from a distributor or Home Depot, and like installing a roof. It's 24 to 48 hours. It's that simple. You have a lot of salesmen or project managers that think they can do it better than the company that they work for. Meanwhile, the company they're doing it for is already doing it wrong. So then they become a product of that wrong environment, right? That wrong install. And it's never about the customer. They're chasing the money. They're in it for the money because it's quick money. It's cash flow, right? On off roofs typically in our area are done in a day. Sometimes they take a couple days. It's just a quick come up. And that's why there's so many hacks and like 2-bit crooks just rocking and rolling, because they go from 0 to 100 and then they're back to 0. And within 12 to 24 months, they're out of business.
All right, so we got God, we've got team, and then we got customer. Yep. What specifically within the company has helped you that you're doing, or that you were doing and not doing? Like, what decisions have you made for the company that you were like, this is big? Like, CRMs, is it manufacturer relationships, switching from one to another? Like, what is it?
Relying on the team more and letting the team make decisions, right? Versus micromanaging.
Are you a micromanager? I can see that ever.
I don't know if I'd call it micromanaging.
You seem like the guy that would just go and do your job, let it be, and never check on it again.
We might call it control issues.
Look, I'm not a therapist and I'm definitely not a judge. All right. Yeah. It's fine.
I don't know how to label this, but you have to find the right people in the right seats. And until they're trained and they hold the leadership that's required of them to manage their departments in their division, right? We have 7 different departments that all have their own managers. Until they're in a position to move accordingly, you have to sort of like micromanage them a little bit. But the more that I rely on them, it takes the pressure. Me not micromanaging them takes the pressure off of them, and they're no longer walking on eggshells, which then gives them the clarity that's needed to make the right decision and the right calls. So tapping my team in and letting them work and do their thing has been tremendous.
Yeah, that's more just managing them, right? Because at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I ask people, like, define the difference between micromanagement and management. Yeah, right. It's like, for me, it's really the intention. If I'm having you check a bunch of boxes just for the sake of doing this and showing me that you did it, like, that's micromanagement. Yeah. If I'm bringing you into conversations and holding you accountable to make sure that you're following the process that we outlaid to ensure that the customer gets their experience, the team's happy, the culture's where it needs to be at, and we're profitable. I think there's different ways to do that, but that's more management than anything else, right?
For sure. And that's why there's a difference in managers and leadership. Yeah. Right. And like my team, they're some of them have the employee mindset, which is great. You want that. You don't want your managers and ops managers to have an employee mindset. You want them to have an employer mindset. And that helps them navigate between decisions a little bit differently. Yeah. But when there's an issue that arises that they can't solve, then they come to me, right? Then we work through that and we get to the solution. You have a dilemma, I'm going to find the solution. Dan Martell, the 1-3-1, 1 dilemma, 3 viable options, 1 solution, ready, set, go. So.
Yeah, a lot of people get hung up rather on overthinking and overcomplicating things, where it's like, dude, if you would have done this 3 months ago, just made a decision, even if it failed, failed again, bang, now you got the right decision. Took 3 months, but now it's in the past, and here you are 3 months later fumbling around over the same thing, trying to make a decision.
How when a process breaks down, a system doesn't work, an employee's not working out, how quickly you can pivot and audible and redirect is going to then dictate the level of success that you're going to have. So if someone's fumbling with something for 3 months, procrastinating, you just lost 90 days. Versus,
never get it back.
Yeah, never. Time is time. Versus making a decision quicker on. Speed execution.
So assume right there's a person that started a roofing company today, and they want to, what's the path of success for them? Give them their elevator pitch on how they can be successful over the next year.
Oh, geez. There's so much that went into that, right? Because it's not just like, but ultimately you had just launched a business. Your roofing company is new. You need to understand the value of your customer, the value of your team, do honest, ethical work. If your name goes on it, you need to stand behind it. When fires arrive, you need to put them out immediately, and you need to communicate with your customer along with tracking all of your data, right? This is where a lot of guys come out of tool belts and they just jump into ownership and they have no understanding of the CRM, their accountants, their P&Ls, like all of that matters. You need to have a team behind you. So systems and processes.
So when should they start, with a CRM or with systems and processes?
So day one. And I didn't do that. I was probably, when the hell did we do that? I want to say, I was probably like 8 to 10 months in, somewhere in that ballpark.
Say like 8 months.
It was winter time, I think, when we first implemented.
You got on with job progress.
Yeah, JP. Yes.
JP.
I should have did it right out of the gates. Like when
it's interesting, man, when I talk to, people that reach out, we get a lot of younger companies that reach out that aren't necessarily at the stage where it makes sense to work with us, but
yeah,
I'll do some, like initial consulting for them or give them some advice. And, I don't care if you're at $200,000 in revenue, get a fucking CRM, get used to it, understand it.
Yeah.
Make sure it reflects like what your processes are. If you don't have your processes, fucking start writing them down. I'm like, you're the only employee. You know exactly how to do everything you want to do, how you're going to order, how you're going to deal with waste, like factoring into your profit, how you're going to price jobs, how you're going to what the process for install is, how you manage your crews. Like, all this shit, but act like you're getting hit by a bus tomorrow and somebody's got to step into your shoes and fucking do it. And make it as clear as you can, as concise as you can. Create Google Docs, use ChatGPT to help you out, to expedite it. But dude, it's honestly, I've got people that reach out that are doing $3 million in revenue where they don't have hardly any SOPs.
They have nothing in place.
It's like,
I met a guy in Orlando. Yeah, for the PBD, the Volt.
Yeah,
he's doing $3+ million. He doesn't know the difference between SEM, SEO, LSA, doing all this wild stuff. And I'm like, who's navigating you? And it's like, oh, they want us to run Facebook ads. And I'm like, oh my God.
Did you give him my number?
I'm like, oh my goodness. I do actually.
Yeah,
I do. I need
when
to.
We're off air, make sure you give me their information. I'll reach out to him.
I'll pass that on to you. The problem that I see sometimes is people hire coaches. And they're hiring coaches for the wrong shit.
Yeah.
You need a trade specific.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be awfully tough for, the coach for the Louisville basketball team to come into Texas A&M and lead their football division.
Yeah, they're just not going to know what's going on.
Yeah, you could be drawing up plays for 5 men on the court. You're like, there's 11 guys here. You just run and get open.
I got an extra 6.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's probably one of the hardest things is to get everything as like the owner of a company, get everything out of your head onto paper.
Yeah.
And then organize it. Like Google Drive, you use Google Docs, you use different folders for the different departments of your company, different steps of the process for each one of those departments and relevant processes. Because just about the time that you start doing that, or even before, now you got to start changing shit, right? Mm-hmm. And then when shit changes, you got to go update it in that SOP. And it's a motherfucker, but
that's what we've been dealing with for the last 2 years. So we had so much growth from 23 into 24 and 24 into 25. Like what worked then didn't work in 24. What was somewhat working in 24, we thought we fixed and adjusted into 25. And it's October, and we're still playing with the recipe. We have our core recipe and the ingredients to it. but we're constantly changing things around.
Well, it's like you go from having 100 customers to 400 customers the next year, and you go from having 6 employees to 17. With so many chefs in the kitchen, something's bound to get fucked up. You start playing telephone, and this person said this, and they said this, and then the customer's saying this. Yeah. And like, where do I look? And then you look in the CRM, there's no fucking notes.
Yeah.
No. Right. Yeah. So it's like, guys, I need you to fucking document every conversation we're having with the customer so we understand no matter who's called at what time, we have a real-time reflection of what's actually going on.
Yeah.
So it's not he said, she said, but it's tough, to the credit of you guys. Like when everybody's out there and the bullets are flying, you're burning it from both ends. You might forget to document something, right?
Yeah.
It
happens.
It's brutal.
For sure.
Yeah.
We have multiple layers in place to catch it with our 7 divisions, departments. Sometimes there's 3 sets of eyes on one document to make sure that before it's like stamped official and on and done and complete, it's had multiple sets of eyes on it.
Yeah.
We're moving at a high volume, fast paced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably more than most if I had to take a guess.
What do you see changing in the roofing industry in the near future, 6 to 12 months?
AI is a big thing right now.
What's that?
What is AI?
It's artificial intelligence, folks.
It's robots.
I can't help but being a dick. I'm sorry.
It's robots everywhere.
Robots everywhere.
They're implementing things with the call center services, scheduling, and so forth. 6 to 12 months. I don't know. I'm on the East. So we have seasons, weather, elections were a problem last year. There's like a wave that's always up and down, roller coasters, government lockdown, shutouts.
It's funny. Everybody forgets how impactful an election is.
Yeah.
When it comes to people wanting to buy expensive shit that they feel like they really don't want or need, but deep down they know.
Yeah. It's a grudge buy.
So it's like, now I've been through a few of them.
Yeah.
And, they call what's going on? It's like, it's fucking October before the election.
Yeah.
People are fucking terrified to spend money.
What do you think's happening? So you have the election and then the office transfer.
Yeah.
And then something wild happened right after that too. What happened at the beginning of the year? Some got shut down, locked down. We went to war with somebody.
It's all blurred to me, bro.
The stock market crashed. I don't know, right?
Bitcoin's at 125,000.
Yeah. The current events, social events, I keep my hand out of it, but I know like things are taking place which are affecting my buyers ultimately.
So robots are taking over. Mm-hmm. We'll just have the robots do it.
They have created, there's a machine out there that installs shingles on a roof. Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Online, yeah.
Wouldn't that be fucking wild?
It's slow, but it's precise.
Could you imagine pulling up from work and there's 3 fucking bots on your roof? Just
They don't look like that.
Huh?
They don't look like that. Look, he's going to find it. Christian's going to find it. There it is. Right
Rufus, the automated roofing robot by Renovate Robotics. No, I want like a legitimate like robot. Like,
give it some time. I'm sure Elon will come up with something.
That's pretty crazy though.
Yeah.
You gonna buy one of those?
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Look how slow it's moving. It's precise.
But looking at something like this, how does that impact insurance costs? If now you don't have humans going up and being at risk, I would imagine that would make a massive difference in what you would have to pay for insurance, or not pay rather.
I'm sure it would minimize it. Yeah.
From everything I hear, insurance is a big part of overhead.
It is. It is. When you're utilizing 1099 subs, though, they're also responsible for their own general liability, work comp, and so forth. Signed under a subcontractor agreement, everybody's company or everyone is covered. Our company, their company.
Yeah.
So, and that's also where another gray area where in my market, there is a difference in general liability and workman's comp. Hell, some of these companies don't even have workman's comp. They're just running under GL. And then they're utilizing subs who aren't covered either. So it's just like a whole debacle.
If I'm a homeowner in Pittsburgh, how would I know?
You need to ask if they have workman's comp and see a COI, and it's going to list both of it, and then make sure that you're getting your certificate, a COI for the sub that's going to be utilized also.
But if I'm a homeowner and I'm completely ignorant to how roofing contracting works, I'm going to assume if I hire McClelland's Contracting Roofing, they're going to be doing my roof, not subcon. I might not even know what a subcontractor is, right? So, because I'm just a dental hygienist and I've never had exposure to that stuff.
I think at this point, it's relatively dominant enough to know that Hispanics are going to be putting the roof on, whether it's an in-house employee or not. So we talk about it with our homeowners because they ask. And we actually, I'm not going to say what I refer to them as because it's like a golden term, but we don't refer to them as a sub because of how we get them certified and trained and so forth. But we have the conversation. Others may hide behind it, but we do not.
Right. But that's all I'm saying is like if a homeowner.
Well, so they need to be vetting. That's why we do tutorial videos the way we do. Like what's the top 5 questions to ask your roofing contractor?
Oh, that's a good one. Where'd you come up with that?
This guy named Mike Stearns.
Oh, shit. That was fun that day we shot.
Yeah. And we've done some retakes on it and put stuff out there because the homeowner doesn't need to know because they don't know.
Yeah.
They need to be made aware. I mean, and you're right. The dental hygienist doesn't know anything about anything when it comes to a roofing system.
Fix the shit out of your mouth.
Yeah. Hire
they'll help
a
you
roofer.
big time.
Yeah. Or mess it up if it's not a good one.
Well, you know.
Could go just like the roofer.
Just like the roofer.
Hire the wrong
roof. Your mouth is all fucked up from a bed.
You got a problem.
Yeah. I mean, well, I just think about, what I knew or didn't know when I came into the industry, and it's night and day, and it's hard for, and I know a fraction of what you guys know, right? I know a small piece of it. And even that feels like a big gap from where I started, right? So if I have a homeowner, I could imagine. So it's hard for a lot of people that are experts at something to put themselves back in this into a lens of not knowing. But if you can do that, there's so many opportunities to improve your sales process, improve your content strategy, and improve your company holistically, right?
For certain.
And understand, okay, if I don't know this, I should probably know this. What do I desire? How do we frame this to them to really make it resonate? Got to come up with like an exercise to do that.
Yeah.
Because that'd be super helpful for people.
That's part of our mission is to educate the homeowner.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, in our market, typically they're getting 3 to 5 bids. More than likely, the first 3, 4 probably left out a bunch of beneficial, useful information, right? Or if we're in the middle or if we're at the backside, then they can see the difference between us and then the other companies. And then if we're early enough in the process of it, we can educate them so that they can make an easier decision along down the line. Once they see contractor 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, whatever it may be, if we haven't had, a 1-call close or a close at the kitchen table.
Do you typically push for 1-call closes?
We don't.
No?
We don't. No. Our market, I mean, there is people that pull it off in our market. I have guys on my team that get it done. But our market, because it's so saturated and everybody's answering the phone, like people are waiting. They wait. They get their 3 to 5 estimates and price shop and compare. Yes.
So what makes it different for the guys that get it? How do they do it?
Depends on where they're at in the line, I think. That's what I'm chalking it up to. If they come in and they're 4th, right? Say you got 5 coming in. And they're number 3 or 4, and they're in line with the first several, but they sold the value or the experience or themselves better than the other 3, they're comfortable from there. So
do you guys have, questions as far as how many estimates they plan on getting, when you guys want to come out, or is it you just set the appointment and hope that you're closer to the end?
We don't have a preference if we're at the beginning or the end. So we're typically further out than most in our schedule. So, but yeah, we do have a series of questions that they're vetted with whenever they call in to us.
Wouldn't you rather a 1-call close in a perfect world, though, all things being equal?
Yeah. for sure. I mean, it's set up that way for them to do that. They have their aerials, their leave behinds, everything. They have all the information that is needed on that home that they're walking into. So,
if you go on a sales call, are you closing it down in one shot?
Not every time.
No.
I have what we call a soft close. There's a soft close and a hard close. I'll close you and you don't even realize that you've been closed. Kind of deals. So, yeah.
So you get the signature every time, just not on the spot.
Correct. Yeah. Not every time, but I did go out for like 6 or 7 weeks, middle of the season, just to like build the morale of my team, because they were talking about how expensive we are. And I was like, I know we are, but we have to find a way to sell the value and the experience that they're getting and separate us from the competitor, because we do it better than any and everybody else in our market. And I believe that because I know what I've built and how it's to be done. I see how they're doing it versus how we're doing it. So I went out and I let it off. Landed like a 70-75% close rate over like 6 weeks. Butchering them up. Took me like 3 to dust the cobwebs off because it's been a while. Yeah. The first 3 were like practice, but then after that it was just bing, 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 bing. I mean, I went in and bid a house that I was the 8th contractor. I was number 8.
I'd immediately be like, "This, you guys probably aren't a good fit."
When I went, I was slightly annoyed. Like when I'm going through my calendar on the way there, right? Because I'd like to just.
Got 7 quotes.
Yes, I'll pull the profile. Got 7 quotes. We're number 8, looking to make a decision by the end of the week, ready to move forwards. Once one more estimate. Okay. No problem. Get there around 2:15, 2:30. This is on a Wednesday night, and I closed the deal by 8:30 that night. Yes.
Did they say why they got 7 quotes, 8 quotes?
Because they were getting mixed match answers. Yes, I was able to go in, and she was from the construction background. She was an engineer of some sort.
Yeah. And
she tried to own the conversation right out of the gate with me. The wife was running point for her and the husband.
Yeah.
She tried to own the conversation with me, and I'm not going to let that happen. It's unfortunate, and I have to tell the homeowner this. I apologize that this is the information that you were given by the other 7, but this was inaccurate information, and this is actually wrong, and this is what we need to do, and this is why we need to do it. And then I'm able to take control of the estimate from there and take it back from her. And so she saw the value. And because there's like some small things that I like to do that others don't do, and I'm very meticulous with stuff, and she's seen the difference in myself versus the other 7 that we bid against. So,
yeah, you mentioned something that's super.
And we were the most expensive out of all 7.
You were?
Yeah.
There's something to be said about, price and association with credibility.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a dog a while back, and my cousin was looking for the same type of dog, and I found my dog was like $2,500.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, that's way too cheap. There's something wrong with him. So she paid like more than 2x because she's like, it's the breed I want. It's the bloodline I want. And it's more money. So it's got to be better. Her dog. Sorry, Danielle, but. Yeah. So, it's not always true that.
You bought a fake one.
Yeah.
It was a fake breeder.
I'm pretty sure she doesn't watch my content, so it's fine. But if you're watching, sorry.
Something I said.
Yeah, so belief. It's so crucial to sales that, like, 1, we believe in the product, service, experience that we're selling to a customer. And 2, for whoever's selling that to believe in themselves, right? So I was making a piece of content with Christian earlier where we talked about this, and it's like, sales reps are great. You get the best sales rep in the world, but they all go through slumps, and they become that quarterback that just threw a pick 6 or 2 interceptions. It's like you got to have that amnesia mindset and snap out of it. And some people do it quickly, some people don't, and some people that usually do it quickly sometimes struggle, right? Because they've got all these contributing factors of why they're in a funk, and it's not always just like closing percentages that work. Yeah. So it's like, how do we get that belief back so you come out and you're that fucking closer that you were 3 weeks ago? How do you maintain that level of belief with your sales reps in the company? Because that shit is obvious through conversations they're having with customers, if they actually believe in what they're selling or they're just selling to sell, right?
Correct. The customer can pick up on that immediately, right? If we talked about it earlier, like the why me, poor me, Debbie Downer, right? Yeah. If you walk up to the door, your shoulders are slunched, you're not smiling, you're not shaking a hand, you're not giving a card, you're not alert, vibrant, energetic, right? Welcoming, full of life. Like they're going to read that. They can tell something's wrong with you. Something's off with you.
Something's wrong with you.
Something's wrong with you.
What's wrong with him?
What's wrong with this guy? They are formulating an opinion of you within 20 seconds.
Sure.
So that first impression matters. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. And I think that's where salesmen, because naturally they're competitive and they want to close, they overlook that. And they'll get inside their head if, right, they run 10 leads, they close 3, right? But they were anticipating on closing 6. Well, they'll put themselves into their own little funk because they only closed 3 out of the 10. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. You just have to find a way to sell yourself better than your competitor did while remaining positive. And it's like the old quarterback analogy, right? You think Tom Brady, when he threw an interception, went back out on the next series thinking about the interception that he threw? No, he didn't. He redirected. He pivoted it. He called an audible, pivot, redirect, realigned, and took it from there. So, but it's breathing life into them and them understanding that, and where are they green, or they are a veteran, and so forth.
If you're hiring a new salesperson, do you prefer green or do you prefer experienced?
Right in the middle, right?
What's that look like timeline wise? Like been in the industry for a year, 2 years?
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
2 to 4. Understanding that the process, there's a lot of guys that will take a salesman because they can sell. We sell in intricates. Like a roofing system is intricate. It's not just taking off shingles and putting shingles back on. And this is where a lot of companies like drop the ball, because they will take that energetic kid that was selling a car and teach him how to sell a roof. Well, we're not just selling roofs. I'm selling soffit, fascia, siding, gutters, windows, doors. We're ventilating roofing systems. We're re-siding homes. There's a lot to be an exterior salesman. It's not just sell a roof and call it a day. So that's where I prefer them to have some experience in the trade.
2 to 4 years.
Ideally. But then again, if you walk on my door and you got no experience at all, but you're checking all these other boxes, then
take a shot on you, maybe?
We can have a conversation. I've done it both ways. I've hired guys that are in the trades that have 10 years, but then they lack salesmanship and they don't make a good salesman because they can't manage their buckets and handle their customers and send follow-up emails and phone calls and move their buckets. Right?
What if they've been in roofing sales for 10 years?
Yeah, probably going to want to roll that dice. Yeah.
Don't they oftentimes come with like a lot of baggage though? Maybe
not necessarily.
No?
Not necessarily. I've only had 2 handfuls of salesmen. We didn't bring a sales team on until 2023.
Yeah.
And I was selling through 23. I don't think I sold very minimal in 24 and very minimal this year. So I'm like playing and understanding that the dynamics of what's best. But really what I'm seeing is I need the driven, self-starter, motivated. They're hunting for something. They understand that it is a competition and we need to compete. I need them to be savages and warriors and go out and kill. That's what I'm looking for.
What percentage of your leads are given to your sales reps versus self-generated?
They're all given to them. They are all self-gen, which is a whole nother process.
Hold on a second. Which one?
They're lead fed. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all lead fed. Yes.
Must be nice, dude.
It is. If I was to restart and do it again, I would not do it like that. So you that's starting the roofing company, don't do that like that. Set an expectation that they got to self-gen something of some sort throughout the week. 100%. Because what it does, it just creates...
Self-gen activities are the chores. Company-provided leads should be the allowance.
Yes.
Right? You do your chores, you get paid an allowance. You stop doing your chores, you don't get allowance anymore.
Yes.
Your brother gets an allowance because he did the extra chores.
Yes. What happens with us, I mean, an abundance of leads, right? They're just getting murdered. They don't have time to go canvas and cloverleaf and knock doors throughout the year. Like, it's just a constant flow. But then when it does dip, they're the first ones to be like, oh, I only got 12 leads this week versus 18. I'm like, cool. Did you go work any of your builds? Did you call any of your customers? Whoa. And I'm like, put a little bit of work in, you little bougie ass baby. Kill me with that.
Well, like you said, that's my challenge,
yes.
Right?
And I have to own that. I know that because I spoiled them.
Right.
So when you talk about like lead-fed salesmen, right, they are little spoiled babies. But as the owner of the company, I have to take ownership.
I made them this way.
Yeah,
I created a monster.
That. Yeah, you've been working for me for 3 years, and I haven't made you knock a door once. Now I'm trying to get you to knock a door. Of course, you're going to push back on that a little bit. So, yeah. But that's what we were talking about earlier, changing the dynamics and rewriting and rescripting the SOP in the process as growth takes place.
Yeah. So are you going to start making them go around their jobs?
Yeah. They had a sales meeting this morning. I mean, I got creative. I have project managers who have sold in the past. So now I'm utilizing them also in canvassing builds, and the salesmen are required to get out there and walk their neighborhoods. Yeah. So
they're good with it.
I guess they're good with it. It's like a
begrudgingly comply.
Yes. Yeah.
It's dope, man. Well,
yeah. If they're not good with it, the springtime salesman will be good with it.
Well, if you're watching, salesman,
they ain't watching this shit.
Dude, I mean, this is a huge show.
It is.
Huge show.
It is. I know.
Fast following.
Yes.
Make sure you tag in all the short form, Christian, and chop that up. Make sure you tag McClelland's so that, we put it on the radar for them.
Here's your incentive to knock a door.
Yeah, consider yourself warned. Yeah. Happy hunting. Well, man, it was great shooting with you today. I'm glad that you took the trip up after 5 years.
It took me forever, but I'm here.
But we're here now, and I couldn't be more grateful. 3.5 hour drive just to come see your boy.
I appreciate it.
And I mean, if you want, the type of problems Brock's having with leads and, creating entitled lead babies, you hit up a Sun Digital agency, you too could have those champagne problems.
Yes. You just have to trust in the right marketing agency, like a Send Digital agency, and they will handle that for you. But if you're from Pittsburgh or the surrounding area, they're off limits.
They're off
limits. We got a gentleman's handshake.
All jokes aside, there is also a responsibility, and you've done an incredible job at this as far as, keeping your side of the tracks clean.
Yep.
Doing the things, that are needed to be done that we can't do for you and I can't do for you. And I think, one of the best at understanding what you don't know, and not just us, is hiring people that are more advanced in those other areas and then actually doing the shit that they're telling you to do.
Yeah, that's important.
It's incredibly important, right? And even with like fucking job progress 5.5 years ago or whatever, right? You're like, I need to see her. I'm like, well, we got this. This probably makes the most sense for you now. I got a fucking call from you like 2 days later. Like, I just onboarded job progress. I was like, which I didn't expect, right? Because 80% of the time, like, that conversation dies on the table and then, whatever. So, whether you're working with us or any other marketing agency, or consultant or coach or whomever it is that you're trying to move along your business in a growth direction, if they're giving you information, especially if you're paying for the information, fucking do it. You've done the hard part.
Yeah.
The hard part is paying down that ignorance tax, getting the information you need and feeling confident in it, and then go do it.
People lack execution. And for whatever reason, they'll go hire a coach, a mentor, an advisor, and so forth. And they'll just like sponge all this information, but they won't do nothing.
Yeah.
There's no productivity behind it. They lack execution, and it just becomes a waste.
So we'll end it on that. Make sure you execute. Be like Brock. So thank you, Brock. Thank you for tuning in today. Thanks to the team at Roofer for helping making this happen. You guys are great. Again, there's a link in the description. Make sure you drop some comments too. Share the page, like, subscribe, all the things that will make it more likely that people like yourself who are in need can find the help that they need quickly and easily. And we gone.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.